Hello everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome to a life and channel update video. So, I am really excited to say that there is quite a bit of things that have changed over the last month or so, honestly, even as far back as when I started my channel. And I definitely want to kind of update you all on everything that's been happening and kind of to tell you like the progress of my channel and all the video ideas that I have and like the things that I see this channel growing. So just to quickly go through the couple key points of what this video is going to be about in case you don't want to watch the whole thing. The big news is that I am going back to school. So in case you don't already know this, I have a bachelor's degree in chemical engineering, and I actually have a couple associate's degrees as well that kind of led up to that degree. I had gone back to school for my master's at one point, and I just didn't really think that it was right for me, so I kind of left off with that for a while, and I continued working at the company that I work at for a few more years. But then I decided about like half a year ago that it was about time that I really invested my talents in art. And so I decided to take a couple classes at my community college to try and, I don't know, just get better with my skills in art. And I wanted to also see how much skill I have and like how much of an interest I have in maybe pursuing that as a career at some point. And so I took these couple classes and I actually fell in love with art. Like I already was in love with art. I'd already been doing quite a bit of art over the last year or two, but I realized just how much talent I have and how much of an interest I have in the subject, and possibly even going on with my career in it. And so I got really excited. I wanted to like try and get this associate's degree at my community college and try and like pursue that career. And then I was realizing that it was really hard for me to be able to schedule classes, that there were only so many classes that the community college was offering, that it was really hard to schedule like the times that they were available. I work second shift at my job, so it kind of gives me the opportunities to be able to take classes, but at the same time it kind of hinders it because a lot of the classes were in the middle of the day, like 2 to 4 or like 1 to 3, that kind of time frame, and that was right around when I had to go to work. I usually have to go to work at 2:30, so it was really hard for me to be able to schedule classes, and it was kind of making me frustrated. It was kind of making me feel like it wasn't going to be possible, or that it would take several years to be able to get even just an associate's degree. And I know that I didn't necessarily need to hurry with getting this degree, but it's just that I didn't like the idea of barely scraping by with taking these classes, that I wasn't going to be able to get the full experience, I wasn't going to be able to really get much out of it other than just saying that I took the classes. And so I almost wasn't sure if I was even going to continue on with it. But then Lucas was kind of helping me with figuring out that, hey, you know, maybe going to class in person at community college isn't necessarily the best way to go about this. Maybe I should look into online options. And after another day or two of kind of looking up some stuff and having some conversations with some administrators, I actually found that Southern New Hampshire University, SNHU, I'm sure you've heard of it. They have a really big online school presence, basically, especially in America. And they're huge on like online degrees for people that are working, for people that, you know, don't have a lot of time during the day to be able to go to like traditional classes. And it's completely online. I was actually able to talk to an advisor for a few days, and I was able to basically figure out what I could do with it. And so I decided through a little bit of thought, a little bit of talking with some people, that I am going to be getting my bachelor's degree in graphic design and media. I was not expecting to be able to get a bachelor's degree. That was definitely something that was very surprising to me to hear that was possible. Not only that, but that I'll be able to get it in a year. Like a year and a half tops, because I was able to get most of my credits from my other degrees to transfer. And so all I really have are the like core classes for graphic design. And I'm so excited that like that's going to happen, that I'm going to be able to take classes that very specifically focus on what I really want to do. And so just the fact that I have this opportunity makes me so happy. And the fact that I'm in a place in my life where I'm able to pursue this means that, I don't know, I'm just really happy that I was finally able to have this opportunity to be able to do this and to be able to really pursue it to the best of my abilities. So I'm going to be going back to school for my bachelor's degree. I'm technically going full-time because they do this thing where you take 2 classes per term, and terms are 8 weeks. So I will be going full-time and going to be attempting to finish this degree in a year. And I'm not really sure what I'm going to be doing after that. I'm probably going to be talking to some career advisors through the college, and also just kind of doing my own research, trying to build up my portfolio to maybe pursue this as a career, hopefully in a year or two. We'll see, but I'm just really excited that I'm finally having this opportunity to be able to pursue a path that I've always wanted to pursue for years. And so the reason why I'm mentioning this, besides the fact that I'm just really excited to kind of share this with you, and there is more to this story. If you're interested in hearing more about kind of like my background when it comes to my schooling, I would love to tell you guys in a future video. So if you're interested, please leave that down in the comments. But the reason why I mentioned it is because with me being busy with school now, my content's going to change slightly. It might be a little less frequent or possibly even more frequent of uploads, and I will explain that in a moment. But I decided that my reading vlogs that I've been doing every once in a while, I'm going to kind of turn those into reading/school vlogs. So if you're interested in kind of seeing my experience as an art student, especially an online art student, I'm going to tell you like everything that I'm going through, the struggles, the excitement, the workload that I'm going through. I want to kind of document that for you guys. I'm going to try to do that every week. So every week I'll have a vlog that goes through not only what I'm doing with school, but also still reading, of course. I'm going to try and keep up my reading as much as possible, even with everything that's going on. And so if you're interested in that, please let me know. I'm honestly really excited to document all of this as well. The vlogs are going to be changing for that. I am still going to be doing Booktube content. It's just going to be slightly less frequent. I'm going to be kind of focusing more on like those like special videos that I've been having my thoughts on, like special reading vlogs specific to a book or a series, or just kind of like a different genre, or like readathons. Like I'm still going to try and do readathons. I might not be able to like do the entire readathon per se, but I'm definitely going to try my best. And I also have a really great idea for October, for like the Halloween time period. So you'll be seeing probably a video about kind of explaining what I'm going to be doing with that towards the end of September. There's still going to be some Booktube content that I'm going to be doing. It's still going to primarily be a Booktube channel. However, I am going to be introducing a few other different types of videos. Now, I've always been interested in video games, especially like the fantasy-based ones. It's like Pokemon, or like 7 Days to Die if you want to go towards more of that range, Stardew Valley. I am very much a big fan of video games. I just never really have time to do it, but I really wanted to start playing them again, at least a little bit, and I thought it'd be really nice to be able to record them and to kind of have you guys play along with me and to kind of enjoy it along with me. And I personally enjoy watching video game YouTubers, so I was like, you know what, I would really like to have like a cozy games kind of additional videos that I could put out. And they're a lot easier for me to be able to record, to edit, and to put out as like videos that I don't necessarily have time to be able to do more videos like this. So I can make videos like that and still give you guys an interest and still honestly enjoy making them myself. So probably over, you know, maybe a day, maybe 2 days every week, I'm going to have a video come out. I have been recently recording my D&D campaigns, so my Dungeons & Dragons group that I've been playing with for about 4 years now, that I am the DM of. We've been playing for a very long time. We finished our campaign at the end of last year, and this year we started a new campaign, and it's using the Out of the Abyss module, but I changed quite a bit of it based on what I feel like the party would best be suited for, and like what their backgrounds kind of like help work with. And so I started that a few months ago, and we haven't really gotten too far yet because we had a lot of things kind of happen to kind of keep us from being able to play like every single week. But I'm actually kind of happy about that because they're only level 3, and I decided that I really enjoy like listening to these guys talk. Like they're very funny, and I personally am really proud of what I come up with for these sessions. So I decided that I wanted to record them and try and edit them down and post them on my YouTube channel as well. So by the time you see this, I'm hoping by this weekend, so this will be the 27th, I believe, the Sunday the 27th, or the 29th, I can't remember what. I'll have the date on the screen. You will see the first episode of our D&D campaign. We call it Where the Magic Happens. It's just kind of a funny thing that I came up with for our chat room on Discord, but I think that it's a really great title for our group. So Where the Magic Happens, episode 1, is going to be premiering on my channel. It's about an hour and 40 minutes long, so it is a pretty long video, but it's just so much fun. I tried to edit it down so that it is just purely what we do, what we talk about, the jokes that we make. So if you're interested in that content, please check it out. I would be greatly appreciated, even if it is only for a few minutes of just kind of listening to us just joke around with each other. I really enjoyed it, and I had illustrated the there's like these little backgrounds that I have on the slides as the adventure goes. So please check that out to kind of see just a little bit of my art inspiration. And yeah, so that's definitely gonna be something that's been going on my channel probably every other week if I can get the videos edited. It does take me a while to kind of comb through the 3-hour sessions that we have, and it ends up being about half of that time after I'm done editing it. So hopefully every other week I will have an episode up. But again, I would greatly appreciate your support in kind of just seeing what I do with my other group and kind of like the other side of my life, honestly. You really don't get to see that too much on my channel, so I'm really happy that I'm finally able to put that out as a video series for you guys. So a couple other things I wanted to talk about real quick. I mentioned them in my vlogs quite a few times, but I just wanted to go through a little bit more in detail about like all these extra side projects that I'm working on outside of reading and making these videos. So one of the things is that for the D&D campaign that I run, I have to do a lot of prep work. I kind of read through the module. I write down quite a bit of what the module says. Like I do use a lot of what's in the book itself. And then I kind of like take that, and then if I see that like there's a certain scene that just doesn't quite work with the story, or if I'm like, okay, I really want to introduce this character's backstory into it, then I make those tweaks and I like write it all up in its own separate document. And so there's a lot of prep work that is involved with that, and I'm trying to get as ahead as possible because with school starting on August 30th, I really want to make sure that I have at least a few weeks worth of sessions prepared, so that way if I'm too busy to do any prep work, I have plenty of stuff to work off of. And obviously I kind of ad-lib it as I go as well, depending on how the characters interact and where they end up going with it. But I've been trying to get as much prep work done as possible before school starts, so I've been working a lot on that recently. And I've also been introducing a couple other modules that are kind of like, not spin-off books, but like other additional books that kind of go along with like the D&D 5e universe. And I've been kind of using some adventures from those and kind of like supplementing them into the story as well, for either when like it kind of comes up naturally, or if I don't really have something planned for that week and it kind of just works out really well, I already have that ready to go, and I'll just kind of plop it right into the story, and they'll have another week's or two worth of content from there. So I've been doing a lot of prep work for that. It's been taking a lot of time, but I've been trying to do it while I'm at work because I have a lot of time on my laptop that I'm not doing anything. So I decided that I want to try and get as much of that done as possible. So that's something that's definitely been happening behind the scenes while I'm reading as well. I also really want to work on building my portfolio for our school. So I'm sure I'm going to be working on a lot of projects throughout my classes in the degree, but I also want to try and use what I learned from school and from what I've learned in the past from other classes and just from my own skills. I really want to try and like make projects and build up a portfolio so that in the future when I'm done with this degree, I can have something to show possible people that I'd be getting hired by. And I've been wanting to do this anyway. I've been wanting to work on other projects anyway. This is kind of giving me that extra push. And so I really want to focus a lot on school and to try and like get as good as I can, honestly, with this profession. And so I'm definitely be working on that over the next over the next year, honestly. And if you're interested in seeing any of the progress that I take in making those, I will definitely show those in the vlogs. I'll do like time lapses on Procreate, or I will record my screen when I'm working on Photoshop to kind of show you like what I'm working on with that. So if you're interested in any of that, I definitely will include clips of those things when I'm doing my vlogs. Probably will anyway, but I'm just curious to see if you guys are interested in it. And the other thing I just want to briefly mention, and the only reason why I'm only briefly mentioning it is because I'm not working on it right now, but I really want to start working on it again, and depending on how busy I am over the next couple of months, I might start focusing on it a little bit here and there. I've been working on writing a novel, actually. I've been writing for a few years now. I haven't written anything in a year because of with COVID and with just a lot of other things that kind of like were blocking me from really feeling creative and really like kind of pushing myself to write. I have been writing a story regardless. It right now is about 100,000 words, so it is pretty long, and it definitely is going to be a lot longer than that when I'm done. But the story's called Yomi. I was originally thinking of making a series called Hell Unbound, but I'm not necessarily going to make it a series, I don't think. I think it's just going to be one really big kind of fantasy book. And just to kind of really briefly go over what it's about, I was at this convention a few years back, quite a few years back at this point, and they talked about these different layers of hell in Buddhism. and kind of like their use in Japanese culture as well. I just thought that that concept was really interesting, of like going lower and lower in these levels of hell, and like how much worse it gets, and like how each hell has a reason for why you're there. So like something that you had done in life that was wrong, and that is what puts you in that section. And that there's so much mythology behind like what happens in those layers, that there are kind of these like connections that I was able to make between different mythologies, like Greek, Egyptian. I don't know. There's so much that I was able to like kind of research, and like already with my interests alone with Japanese culture, with Greek culture, with Egyptian culture, I was able to kind of like combine all of them into like a dystopian kind of world. And there's this character, Jason Vander, who dies in the real world and finds himself in this like afterlife, which is called Yomi. And he basically wants to, like, he didn't have his family growing up. Like, he was basically, he kind of ran away. He didn't want to be a part of his family anymore, because of a lot of things that happened in his past. And so he basically like went off, and he never really knew much about his family at all. And so when he dies, he kind of is like, I feel like I've been abandoned by my family, and that they've never really been the warm, loving family that I've always wanted them to be. I want to know why. I want to know like the reasons for why they treated me like they did, why they never really like sought me out or like showed an interest in me whatsoever. And so he finds out that there's a lot of his family that are in hell. And he didn't have to necessarily go there. He had a choice, because he was kind of a neutral person. Like, he never did anything wrong, but he never did like a lot of good either. So he had a choice of whether or not he can go to be resurrected or to go to hell. And he ended up deciding to go to hell because a lot of his family was down there, and he wanted to get answers from them. And so like the story kind of unfolds there, where he is basically traveling through the different layers to try and find his family, to get these answers, and to see how he as a character changes over time as well because of all these influences that are around him. And so it's a story that I've been working on for a very long time. I wrote quite a bit of it a couple years ago, and then like I said, over the last year or so, I haven't really been able to write much else, but I started to get inspiration again recently, and I started writing down some stuff that I think will definitely make the story better, and to kind of like urge me on from here. But again, with everything that's going on with school, with YouTube, with reading, and with work by itself, I definitely don't have a lot of time to be able to work on it. But I wanted to mention it to you because I do want to work on it again, and I'm hoping to start working on it slowly over time, over the next year, hopefully. Because I don't want to make any excuses. I don't want to push it off anymore. So I'm hoping to be able to start working on it, and if you're interested in learning any more about the story, I will gladly tell you more about the plot, more about these characters, more about the world that they're around, and like the mythology that's based on it. Please let me know down in the comments if you'd like to know more. I'm be more than happy to create a whole video based on Yomi, and I also would love to talk about it as I work on it over the next year in my vlogs as well. Yeah, so I think that's about it. There definitely was a lot that I talked about in this video, but just to recap again, I'm going back to school. I'm going to art school for my bachelor's in graphic design and media. I'm going to be working on that quite a bit, and my vlogs are going to change to kind of show more about my life and like the process and like the struggles and achievements that I am able to earn throughout that time. My content's going to be changing slightly on this channel. I'm still going to be doing Booktube videos, but I'm also going to be doing some video games, and I'm also going to be kind of, I don't know, just showing you a bit more about like stuff that I enjoy besides just reading, like video games and D&D. Yeah, I just have a lot going on, but I really want to show you everything that's happening. I also just want to, I don't know, maybe inspire someone else out there that really wants to write a book or that wants to play in Dungeons and Dragons. I just want to inspire you all to, I don't know, just know that it's possible to be able to go back to school even when you're working, to be able to write a book when you have just a small idea. Like, that's been the whole goal of this channel, is to kind of inspire people and to tell people my story, and to, I don't know, hopefully have people enjoy what I go through, and, you know, kind of root me on as well, and kind of feel like you're a part of my story. So thank you again for watching this video. Please like it if, I don't know, if you're just interested in anything that I talked about. Comment down below again if you're interested in anything I talked about, if you want to see more of any of the stuff like the D&D, like maybe stuff that I prepped for D&D, about Yomi, anything like that. And yeah, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. So thank you so much, and I look forward to having you join me throughout the next year or two. All right, bye.